Coming up on Warriors Today by Chat Sports, Klay Thompson made his way back into the starting lineup and may have earned a permanent spot there, but Coach Steve Kerr may have something different to say about that. Nonetheless, he turned up the heat against the Miami Heat. But Trayce Jackson-Davis didn't play in that ballgame, and I'm going to give you guys an injury update on the rookie and why it's influential that he does come back within the next 10 games if the Warriors want to see the postseason. But I got a quick favor to ask you guys. Go on ahead and send this video to somebody in Dub Nation, whether they're a huge Klay Thompson fan, whether they're becoming a fan of Trayce Jackson-Davis, or they just love the blue and gold. We're trying to expand Dub Nation here on Warriors Today by Chat Sports, over 62,000 subscribers. So go ahead and send this video out there to somebody you know would like it. Share it on Twitter, tag me in it, and of course, I'll repost it. So let's talk about Klay Thompson, shall we? Because he did start over Brandon Podziemski, the rookie, which is unreal to say, when they did play the Miami Heat. However, Steve Kerr made it very clear that this is maybe not permanent. They really just started Klay Thompson over Brandon Podziemski because of how many players were out for the Miami Heat. No Hero, no Love, no Robinson, no Butler. So it looked like they weren't going to be spacing out the floor as much, so they went to Klay Thompson and his abilities. But good thing for Klay Thompson is that it actually paid off. Now, you guys know Klay Thompson has been riding the bench for quite some time, really working in that second unit, but now he's back in the starting lineup, which he was also last week when Podziemski was out. But this one seemed different. Why? Because he had a game-high 28 points in a must-win game as the Houston Rockets were a half a game back from 10th place. This was a win or say goodbye to the postseason type of game. Curry also joined in with 17 points, 18 points from Jonathan Kuminga, who now has suffered a knee injury and won't be playing against the Magic. Wiggins with 17 points, and then Draymond, he's pretty much there just to clean the glass. But I want to talk about exactly what Klay Thompson has been doing this entire month, because while the Warriors have been struggling to find some sort of consistency, Klay Thompson is focusing on himself, and it's actually paying off for him. When you see what he's done since March 1st, nearly 20 points a game. He's rebounding quite fairly, three rebounds per game and about 2.5 assists, but his field goal percentage is incredible, 45%, and even better from downtown with 41%. Not to mention, Klay Thompson looks like the former Splash Brother that the Golden State Warriors have loved seeing over the past decade that's created this dynasty. How has he been doing that? He made 50 threes in the month of March. I don't even have $50 in my bank account right now. That is how insane he's shooting. It's terrible. We'll talk about that later, Chugs. But overall, the only other players that have done that so far this month are his Splash Brother, Steph Curry, and Luka Doncic. So it kind of goes along with Klay Thompson's not washed. He just needed a little time to figure out where his rhythm actually lied with this new role that he has. And I loved Klay's response after he won against the Miami Heat, and he had 28 points. He said, look, I just try to take the same approach. He could have easily waved off the Dubs this season. We've seen it many times by players who aren't getting paid what they think they're paid. They're not playing as much as they think they're playing, so they give up on the team, and that's not what Klay Thompson has done. Like I said, throughout this month, he's really actually been improving since before the season and when he was just having a lot of struggles mentally on where he actually fit with the Golden State Warriors. But the fact that he's taking a better approach to whether he's going to start or come off the bench, it doesn't matter to Klay Thompson anymore. It did at one point, and he had a lot to talk about, but overall I think Klay Thompson has now started to find his rhythm and also make a case for why he should stay there for the next year. So I'm going to break down my overall take on this Klay Thompson situation and plus give you guys a Trayce Jackson-Davis update. But first, if you guys aren't playing PrizePicks, I just don't know how you have not joined in on the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America right now. It is extremely fun and extremely easy to play. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can now turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, college basketball, especially right now with March Madness, on America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I know he used to be a former Warrior, but Dante DiVincenzo in New York right now is going insane. So I actually ended up taking the Demon pick on Dante because Demon picks are a harder one. They pay a lot more, and I'm going to take my money on Dante DiVincenzo, who just set the single season 3-point made in a game. Record for the New York Knicks, I have him having more than 24.5 points. And, of course, I'm always going to take the Joker when it comes to cleaning the glass because I've never seen somebody rebound the way he has with more than 12.5 rebounds. But testing my PrizePicks this season, testing my skills on PrizePicks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports app. There's quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy. I know there's still a looming free agency around Klay Thompson's head, and while it looks like he hasn't really paid that much attention to it in the second half of the season, which is great for Klay Thompson, I do want to point out that he has every right to go and figure out what team is going to fit him best on his next step in his career. However, he has been nothing but loyal to Dub Nation while he's been trying to figure out what player he's going to be in his mid-30s. He has started, he's come off the bench, and he's still giving everything he has on a team that's been extremely inconsistent this season. So whether or not he goes to a different team, there's no doubt in my mind that Golden State is going to be his home, and I highly doubt he would ever give any other organization what he has given Golden State. And when he talked about these last 10 regular season games that the Warriors have to play, he had really good things to say about it. He said, look, our last games, we must play that brand of ball that's been so successful the last 10 years. Moving it, switching on defense, on-ball tenacity, and just trusting each other and playing selfless. Then, most importantly, having fun. When we're having fun and we're playing connected, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. Klay Thompson is a big reason why the Warriors have been so successful over the last decade, as he made a name for himself with the Splash Brother, Steph Curry, and he's not done just yet, or at least I thought he was. I 100% will agree on that. I thought he was at the start of the season. I'm like, what has Klay Thompson become? But now he's figured it out. It just needed to take a little bit of time. And unfortunately, he had to do that in the regular season with the spotlight on him, as these people are asking him to be who he was before 2 major surgeries. And now he's come back, and now he's picked a huge role for himself. So I have a question to ask you guys. In a starting lineup, and both starting lineups have produced for the Warriors this season in the win column, but who do you want to start at that number 2 position? Type BP for Brandon Podziemski, which no shade to BP. He's done phenomenal, especially for a rookie. And they have different skill sets, whereas Brandon Podziemski is not as big on the 3, more big on cleaning the glass, whereas Klay Thompson is the opposite. But if you want Klay Thompson to remain in the starting lineup, or if you like him as the second unit, go ahead and type KT down below and explain to me why in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. Because there are going to be some adjustments to the starting lineup moving forward if Trayce Jackson-Davis doesn't come back into play. Look, the Warriors need to be completely clean from the injury report in the next 10 games. I cannot stress how important it is for the Warriors to play their best ball if they want to see anything in the postseason, because the Rockets are not slowing down. I talk about that in my video on Warriors Today by Chat Sports, but the good news is that Anthony Slater of The Athletic did say that he thinks Trayce Jackson-Davis's knee injury is very minor, which is great because we have seen many centers this season for the Golden State Warriors, and I think that overall it's good to have a very minor injury, knowing that he can come back in whenever he feels ready, and that Kevon Looney, which Steve Kerr has said has been a voice for the Warriors this season. I think that overall he is going to be able to be okay for the postseason if he can't return in the regular season. But the good news is he was listed as questionable against the Orlando Magic, so it's not out. He's still being upgraded, and I'd rather him take his time to come back in case the Warriors do make the postseason. Then they're going to need that big body in the paint, because while Draymond Green is a phenomenal rebounder, he doesn't have the size that Trayce Jackson-Davis has. The size that I love, 6'10", while Draymond Green is about 6'6". It's just not exactly what you're looking for right now, especially when Trayce Jackson-Davis has been trying to produce stats night in and night out for the Golden State Warriors this season. He's averaging about 6.6 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. He's got nearly an assist and he's up there in the blocks. Obviously, there's a 0 to 3-point because Steph Curry does it all, but Trayce Jackson-Davis is still trying to make a name for himself as a rookie, and all he needs from Dev Nation is some support. So going ahead and give TJD some love down in the comment section. Just type 32 if you want the rookie to get better, if you want him to play, and you want him to help the Golden State Warriors in the postseason if they do make it there. And like I said, go ahead and share this video on social media. Tag me on Twitter. Send it in your group chat. If you have a grandma and she has a phone, send this video to her if you know she's going to love the Golden State Warriors. And as always, if you guys haven't already, hit that sub button on Warriors Today by Chat Sports so that you know everything about your favorite NBA team.